morning. Joining me to discuss Blue Ant's definitive agreement to acquire Thunderbird Entertainment and Blue Ant's 2025 financial results are Michael McMillan, Chief Executive Officer of Blue Ant Media, and Rob Chase, Chief Financial Officer of Blue Ant Media. We've also asked Jennifer Twiner-McCarron, Thunderbird Entertainment's Chief Executive Officer, to join this call solely for the purposes of discussing the proposed transaction involving Blue Ant Media and Thunderbird Entertainment that was announced today. This call is being recorded live at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on November 26, 2025. Please note that some of the statements made on the call today may be forward-looking for the purposes of applicable securities laws and are based on current expectations which management of Blue Ant believes to be reasonable. Forward-looking statements involve known and unknown risks, assumptions, uncertainties, and other factors. Actual events or results may differ materially from those expressed or implied, and Blue Ant and Thunderbird each disclaim any intent or obligation to update or revise any forward-looking statements, whether as a result of new information, future events, or otherwise, except as required by applicable securities laws. A detailed cautionary note regarding forward-looking information is included in the press releases issued earlier today by Blue Ant and Thunderbird Entertainment. We encourage all investors and prospective investors to read it in its entirety. During this call, representatives of Blue Ant may also reference non-IFRS financial measures, such as adjusted EBITDA. For reconciliation of non-IFRS measures to IFRS results, please see our respective earnings releases posted to SEDAR+. Each of Blue Ant and Thunderbird do not take any responsibility for or endorse the statements made on this call in respect of matters related to the financial results or performance of the other company. Please note that the consummation of the transaction between Blue Ant and Thunderbird Entertainment is subject to the satisfaction of customary and negotiated closing conditions, including, among others, approval from Thunderbird shareholders, receipt of the applicable court orders, and receipt of the approval from the Competition Bureau of Canada. All dollar figures are in Canadian dollars. Michael will begin with some introductory remarks. Jennifer will provide some comments on behalf of Thunderbird regarding the proposed transaction, and Rob will provide an update on Blue Ant's recently filed Q4 and year-end 2025 results, as well as provide some color on the financial elements of the transaction. I'll now turn the call over to Michael. Michael.
Thank you, Madeline, and good morning, everybody. We are very pleased to be with you today to talk about our definitive agreement to acquire Thunderbird Entertainment Group, which we announced by press release earlier today. We are very excited about this proposed acquisition. Thunderbird is a strong, strategic fit and highly complementary to Blue Ant's existing operations. Combining our businesses will add scale, create meaningful cost synergies, strengthen our earnings and cash flow profile, and enhance our presence in the capital markets. For those who are not familiar with Thunderbird, they are a global content creation studio that creates premium, award-winning content. Headquartered in Vancouver with a team in Los Angeles, the company produces premium scripted, unscripted, kids and family, and animated content for the world's leading digital platforms, as well as for Canadian and international broadcasters. Thunderbird is listed on the Toronto Venture Exchange. Thunderbird's business is comprised of Atomic Cartoons, which is a leader in animation with a long track record of premium series for major global partners. Atomic has a robust service business and a growing stable of owned IP content. And Great Pacific Media, a leader in unscripted programming with a growing slate of projects in scripted live action, particularly in young adult. Great Pacific Media owns the majority of its IP. They also have a distribution and consumer products team that supports the monetization of Thunderbird's IP across licensing, merchandise, and distribution. Over the years, Thunderbird has forged long-standing partnerships with global studios and streamers, including Disney, Netflix, Warner Brothers, Marvel, and Lego. In addition to service work, it's actively growing its owned IP pipeline, building a growing library and revenue base that deliver recurring revenue. For Blue Ant, this acquisition strengthens our studio business in several important ways. It expands our production capacity as well as our technical innovation, specifically the use of AI in our production workflows. It brings added distribution opportunities and consumer products expertise and enhances our ability to develop, package, and monetize content across multiple platforms with existing and new global customers. Financially, we expect annual cost synergies of $7 million, which can start to be realized shortly after close, driven by duplicated public company costs and other efficiencies. These cost synergies make the deal highly accretive and will improve adjusted EBITDA and cash flow in the combined business, further bolstering our earnings. Overall, the acquisition, which we anticipate will close in the first quarter of calendar 2026, positions Blue Ant as a larger, more diversified, and more competitive modern media company. We expect to have enhanced earnings power, improved operational efficiency, and a stronger capital markets profile. We believe the combined company will be well positioned to deliver sustained growth and long-term shareholder value. With that, I'll turn the call over to Thunderbird's CEO and Chair, Jennifer McCarron, who will be joining Blue Ant on closing to oversee a combined kids, young adult, and animation business within Blue Ant Studios. Jen, over to you.
Thanks so much, Michael, and good morning to our Thunderbird shareholders. On behalf of our board of directors, we are extremely enthusiastic about this definitive agreement. As disclosed in our joint press release with Blue Ant earlier today, the implied consideration payable to Thunderbird shareholders is $1.77 per share based on last night's closing price, representing a total equity transaction value of $89 million. Thunderbird shareholders will be entitled to make an election to receive cash or shares of Blue Ant in exchange for their shares of Thunderbird, subject to the proration of the cash elections to the extent that the maximum cash amount of $40 million is exceeded. As mentioned earlier, the proposed transaction is subject to certain conditions, including the receipt of approval of shareholders of Thunderbird. Blue Ant has entered into voting support agreements with certain Thunderbird shareholders holding approximately 37% of our outstanding shares. This includes Voss Capital, the Frank Giustra Foundation, and Pacific Reach Properties Capital. Further terms of the definitive agreement and select benefits to Thunderbird stakeholders are set out in the press release. As the entertainment industry continues to evolve, scale, and global reach are becoming more important than ever. To compete, grow, and bring stories to wider audiences, Thunderbird needs to be part of a larger organization with strong resources and global connections. Joining Blue Ant Media allows Thunderbird Entertainment to do exactly that. Bringing our company together with Blue Ant, a more diversified media group with its own commissioning platforms, established global distribution operation, and a focus on IP monetization, creates a stronger, more resilient, and dynamic media company poised to compete in an evolving industry. The media landscape has shifted dramatically over the last decade. Audience demand for content remains extremely high, but how and where people consume content continues to evolve. Both Blue Ant and Thunderbird have navigated this transition successfully, adapting our respective businesses to meet the needs of global platforms and new viewing behaviors. Combining our talented teams will ensure that we are even stronger together. Blue Ant has been extremely dexterous, evolving from a traditional broadcasting model to capitalizing on the shift to digital streaming consumption. And Thunderbird is no stranger to industry shifts. As we've broadened our relationships with global streamers, expanded our production capabilities, and we have been at the forefront of embracing AI's impact on our sector, particularly as it relates to animation production. We are collaborating with top technology partners and our strategic eye, creating new content pipelines and improving speed to market efficiencies. Together, the combined business will have the technology, scale, and capabilities needed to participate more fully in the global market and to monetize content across a much wider range of platforms and formats. This morning, Thunderbird also reported its fiscal Q1 results. Currently, we have 26 shows in production, which is up one production from last year, and our growing pipeline of new IP and service projects give us confidence in how we're progressing and the opportunities in front of us. Looking ahead, we anticipate joining Blue Ant from a position of financial strength in fiscal 2026. Productions representing approximately 76% of the revenue associated with Thunderbird's current production slate are approved and underway. Based on this current visibility, Thunderbird management expects full-year revenue growth as a standalone business in the mid to high single-digit range year over year. We also anticipate a corresponding increase in adjusted EBITDA, with margins in line with 2025. For clarity, this is before giving account to the synergies we expect from this deal with Blue Ant. We're looking forward to accelerating this earnings power into a larger organization and playing a key role in creating Canada's next major global studio.